Okay, number 16 from the Chapter 6 homework. This problem says that, let's see, Best Lodging has $1,000 face value bonds outstanding. These bonds pay interest semi-annually, mature in 5 years, and have a 6% coupon. The current price is quoted at 101. What is the yield to maturity? Okay, so for this one, we want to calculate the yield to maturity. This is something we haven't done yet. And again, the yield to maturity is going to be our yield if we purchase the bond and hold it to maturity, or it's going to be the discount rate that we use. So what you see up the top here is that yield to maturity is, we call it the market rate of interest for bonds, the interest rate, the discount rate. It's what we're going to plug into I over Y for our calculator. So we're just going to dump everything in that we know and then ask it to give us I over Y back. Okay? So the trick is we got to remember to adjust for the semi-annual payments. Okay? So let me hit second clear TVM, clear out what's in the calculator. I'm going to plug in N. Now that tells us that the bond matures in 5 years. So we've always got to multiply by 2 with bonds. So 5 times 2 is 10, right? Our N is 10. I over Y is what we're looking for, so I'm going to skip over that for now. Our present value here, so we have to do a little bit of a calculation because it tells us the price is quoted at 101. Okay? And this is not a treasury bond. This is Best Lodging, some company. So that means that it's not in 30 seconds. There's no decimal place here anyway. But the bond is selling for 101% of par, 101% of the face value. So in order to find the present value, we do 1.01 times 1,000. It tells us the bond is selling for $1,010. Okay? And as always, I'm picking my perspective as if I were to purchase this bond. Okay? So if I were to purchase it, that'd be a $1,010 cash outflow for me. So I'm going to make that guy negative for present value. So 10, 10, and then I make it negative. Record that for present value. My payment, we got to do a little bit of calculation for. It tells us it's a 6% coupon. So in order to find the annual coupon payment, we do 6%, 0.06 times 1,000 here. And that tells us that we're going to get $60 every year, but it's semi-annual payments. So to find each actual payment amount, we divide that by 2 and find that the payment is $30. And that guy's going to be positive. If I were to purchase this bond, I'd get that cash inflow to me. And the future value is $1,000, so 1,000 in future value. Again, from my perspective, that's if I were to purchase this bond, I would receive that future value at the end of 5 years. So that's a positive cash flow to me. And I want to compute I over Y. And you'll notice the calculator tells me that the interest rate, or the yield to maturity, is 2.8835%. All right, something you've got to keep in mind with the interest rate, just like when we were plugging it in, we had to divide by 2 to force semi-annual compounding. Everything's in semi-annual terms in your calculator. So what it spit back at you was the 6-month interest rate, or the semi-annual interest rate. So you have to now take this interest rate here if you want to find the yield to maturity. Yield to maturity is always quoted as APR, or an annual percentage rate. So we have to turn this back into an annual rate by multiplying by 2. So I just hit times 2 and then equals. And I'll see that 5.7669%. That's my actual yield to maturity, you can see here. Let me clear this out. I'm going to hit recall I over Y and show you the shortcut I did in my calculator just then, because I sort of blew through it. And once you hit compute I over Y, you see the 2.8835, you can calculate right from here. You don't have to write this down and punch it in again. Once this is up, you can hit times and then 2 equals and get that 5.7669%. So it saves you a little bit of writing down and number punching in the calculator to do that.